How did you first personally get interested in space?
Yeah, I've been involved in a passion for space, I think like many of us since I was a little boy, and the idea of doing something in space has always been forefront in my mind. I came at it from having a very high interest in airplanes, and I'm a pilot, and being able to be involved in the aviation industry. And then through the course of my career, I've had several companies that are involved in disruptive technologies. And one of the things that always interested me was being able to use space in a different way. Could things be done in a non-traditional way in space, but still be done within a space system? And I think the first thing that really attracted us was the ability to look at small satellites in space, and if one could produce really high quality, high content small satellites, network them much like we network an office, what could we do? And it wasn't so much the technology as it is the ability to do things with the technology. Not so long ago, we didn't have broadband in our industry, in our world. And a lot of companies that we take as household names are not more than 10 years old. You look at Amazon or Netflix or many of the companies like that were there because broadband became capable. And in our case, we think broadband is having access to low Earth orbit satellites and information. And then the question is, what do you do with that? So we became very interested in the disruptive technologies, and a large part of our portfolio in our company is things that are mainstream in that they're not new concepts, but they're being used in new ways.
So when did you start Sierra Nevada?
I didn't start Sierra Nevada. The history here is that I became involved with a company called SpaceDev a number of years ago and became its CEO and chairman and an owner in the company. And we began developing that business where we looked at small satellites, very unique rocket motors, and early on a orbital space vehicle that's now known as the Dream Chaser. And as the company grew, we realized that to get to the next level, we needed to have a lot more size and mass and more people. And then 3 years ago now, we merged with an existing company called Sierra Nevada to create a new space group within Sierra called Sierra Nevada Space Systems, which was a combination of my company, SpaceDev, and a couple of other companies that have been out there in the space industry. And we formed a very viable national group in space and aligned it with an existing aerospace company to form a much bigger group.
Now, do you know how the decision came about to base the Dream Chaser off of the HL-20?
We do, yeah. It was a very interesting decision. The Dream Chaser is an orbital lifting body vehicle that has caught a lot of attention from people. People say it looks like it should fly, and it looks cool, and it is. But the design is not a new one. The original design was based off a Russian design called the Bor 4. And in the late 70s, that design was captured on film by an Australian plane flying over and seeing it. The Bor 4 actually flew to orbit 4 times. And out of those images, NASA reverse engineered what became known as the HL-20. The original purpose of the vehicle was pretty fascinating. It was meant to be the lifeboat for the space station. And at the time where the space station was being contemplated, they thought they might have up to 10 people on the station at any one time. And they began realizing, like a ship at sea, that if something happened, they had to get those 10 people off. So the HL-20 was designed as a very robust, safe vehicle to be able to take 10 people off of the space station and bring them home. And about 10 years worth of work went into it. Well, a lot of things happened. The shuttle had its issues, the station was delayed, and the complement of the station was reduced, so this vehicle wasn't necessary for that purpose anymore, and NASA put it aside. We began realizing in our company in the early 2000s that the shuttle was going to retire someday, and while some people have issues with the shuttle, we actually think it had a great value to a lot of people. The design was meant to do a number of things in space, and although it wasn't needed to be at the size it was because the station was going to be built, we realized that some of the things it could do would be very valuable going forward, and as far as we can tell, there was no vehicle that was being designed to do that. So we looked around and looked at a couple different existing designs and came upon the HL-20 as a very robust design because it was meant to be this lifeboat, and it was a very good utility design. We felt we could do a lot of things with it. So we began developing it as a company in 2004 for that purpose. And we changed it quite a bit since then, but what we didn't change was we kept the outer mold line or the circumference of the vehicle the same, which allowed us to use a lot of the testing data that NASA had done on the vehicle, wind tunnel tests and other information. We changed the material. It's a composite vehicle. We've completely changed the inside of the vehicle. but we've kept some of the legacy. So it's a really neat concept because it's one of the few times something has been developed at NASA, put away, and now it's being taken out again and hopefully going to be used and flown here in the next couple of years.